Right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just filming another training session with Bliss, and this is because I got asked a question on one of my posts about um, basically a drop it. So, if a dog runs out, gets something that potentially they shouldn't have. I mean, I'll not use the term that they know they shouldn't have because, as I know, girly. Um, as with most dogs, once they've got something, they value it. And then, of course, if you go running after them, then it becomes a bit of a game and they play keep away. And just, the reason why Bliss is going down there is two tennis balls under my leg, which is quite interesting because as I start showing this, you'll see why. Um, so it's all about, teaching, if you like, that drop it. I tend to come at this from a different way where, don't get me wrong, I do teach Bliss an out, and if you watch the earlier video, you'll see that she'll have hold of something, and I will issue the command out, good girl, and she will then drop it into my hand. So I prefer, rather than to look at the problem from a point of view of I want to stop them doing it, then I'm thinking, well, if I'm out on a park and my dog actually picks something up, well, I could be 100 yards away from them at that point. So you could shout drop, and if you've got a strong drop, they might decide to drop it. But actually, if they value it, chances are they're going to have it, and then you've got to try and go after them and try and get them to, drop it from there. And if it's a foodish based item, chances are by the time you've got there that and you're walking towards them, they're going to try and consume it before you even get there. So for me, looking at it from a problem bias often prevents kind of the better solution. So what I've got here is I'm just keeping Bliss occupied because she knows we're doing something. So she's raring to go, aren't you, girl? So I look at it from a retrieve point of view and think, well, rather than worry about chasing after them to get them to drop it, what can happen if I get them to bring items to me? And what I have done is I have actually left one of Bliss's favourite items downstairs, which is a stone. But not to worry. we will persevere with what we've got, but hopefully you'll get the principle. Okay, so the first thing to do is you start building that recall now, and recall that retrieve. So I've got two balls here, so I always start with two similar items, and if you go onto my rock solid retrieve course, I think I start with two radiator rollers, and I start by blocking off this sort of area so she can't get away. And so what I would do is I would block off that, and I would then just throw that ball there, and she would, have to, well, she wouldn't necessarily have to bring it back, but she couldn't really get too far, and I would take it out, and then the next one would go, and then she'd bring that, good girl, and the next one would go. So at this point, again, I'm not using any spoken word, I'm just using the reward of the next ball going with the drop into my hand of the other one. Now in time, what I can start doing is as she starts dropping into my hand out, I can start adding my cue word out so that we get that out, out, yes. And we can start rehearsing this. And I do this, and I always try and have a couple of items the same to start this with. So this would be the start of this game. And then, of course, what I would do over time, so I'm doing this on my landing, but doing it in my hallway, I would start moving further away. So I would go closer towards the camera and give her more space so I could throw that way. And then she's kind of out, yes. And then the next one goes, I'll try not to throw it because otherwise she'll crash into the camera. Throw it that way, out, out, good girl, yes. And then when I want to stop the session, I'll just reward her. So I can mix it up with stopping and starting. Now, you won't be able to see necessarily here, but what I've got is coat hanger, pair of socks, a battery charging unit. I have a grade, whatever that is, that's a 3mm head shave guard. I have a lock knife for carpet cutting. I have what someone bought me at Christmas, which is a best dog sitter award. Okay, so I've got some random objects here, and so what I start doing is thinking, well, what does Bliss like? Like Bliss had a problem with stones, so she would actively go and pick up stones, and so I thought, well, what do I do? So rather than chase after her and then just create a bigger problem, I actually started playing retrieve with the stones. And the reason I love this game is, look, you know, we're only up on my hallway. I know, girl. So, and I started thinking, well, how can I get her to retrieve certain objects? So obviously spaniels are renowned for going after socks. So I would go, bring it, go get it, bring it. Yes, good girl. Go get it, go get it, bring it. Yes, good girl. And then I can give her a treat. So the next one, then I can throw coat hanger, bring it, oh, go get it. Yes, good girl. I could reward her with a throw of the ball, to be fair, which might be more high value because you can see she's really interested in the tennis ball. So if I then go, let's throw this. Yes. Good girl. So I don't always have to use a food reward. I can use good girl. So then I'm going to the battery charger, throw that. Yes, good girl. Throw the ball. Out. Yes. Out. Yes. So now, bring it. Yes, what a good girlie. Good girl. Get it. Out. Now I could do this with dog bones. Do this with larger sort of, you know, I can even do it with a chew stick after a while, after there's a lot of process to go for that. But you can see here what I'm doing is just creating that ability for her to have random objects. Ready? So that's hard, that one. We'll get it. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Out. Go get it. Yes. So now you can see that what we're building is the ability out. The ability for her to pick up an item, and I can now, obviously I've got a bring it command and things like that where out, where she will then go and bring them to me. So instead of it being end of fun, i.e., because if you think about it, if you grab the item off them and take it away, I mean, how would you feel if I came up to you and took your mobile phone off you or your credit card off you? You know, it wouldn't be very nice, would it? So for a dog that's found something that they value, you taking it off them ends the fun. So for me, it's about creating a better process in the dog's brain that goes, oh, you know, I've got something that I want. Ready? Get it. Bring it. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and get you the stone because you'll see how much she loves stone. So just bear with me while I go and grab the stone. Good girl. And then out. Good girl. Excuse my squeaky floor. So what I've picked up now is I've actually picked up a shoe brush and a stone. So Bliss loves these. So, yes, good girl. Get it. Out. Out. So now the stone. Yes, good girl. And she used to, when she was a pup, grab these, run around the garden. You can't see her face at the moment, but her tongue is so far out. Bring it. Yes, good girl. Good girl. I'm going to see if I can bring you so you can see. Come here. Ready? Come here. Sit. So I don't know if you can see that tongue, that breathing. Good girl. So again, you can also see that out. What I do is I wait for an appropriate behaviour. Come on then. Come here. Good girl. So what I want is I want an appropriate behaviour to release the ball. So now she's laid on her hip. That, I really like that. Good girl. So again, the reward cycle comes when she gives me appropriate behaviour. So you probably noticed I'm not speaking to her. I'm saying out every now and then. I'm saying she's choosing to sit, she's choosing to lie down. I'm using the reward cycle to let her know that I really like that behaviour. So again, one last time, if you want to get that really robust kind of drop and bring it to you, if they pick up an item, You've really got to get that rock solid retrieve going so that there is no need for them to run away. There is no fear of losing the object, because that's really what it is. They found something they value and you can see she really wants to carry on, but you'll notice I'm not going to sort of reinforce that behavior. So I'm going to wait for her. She knows all the stuff's here. She can come and get this ball freely, but she's not run off. Good girl. Good girl. Right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back through that and we're just going to do one at a time. Ready, girl? Come here. Come here. Thank you. Good girl. So I'm going to throw the award. Yes, good girl. Throw the ball. Out. Good girl. Throw the socks. Get them. Good girl. We pushed it through the door. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. I'm going to throw the coat hanger. Yes, good girl. And I'm going to mix it up now. I'm going to throw that. Yes, good girl. You can have the ball for that. Yes, good girl. Throw the stone. Yes, and throw the stone again. Yes, good girl. Throw the ball. Out. Throw the stone. Oops. Out. Good girl. Throw the ball. Yes, good girl. Throw the brush. Yes. Oh, get it for me. Yes, good girl. Get the ball. And then the really heavy item. Yes, throw the ball. Out. Out. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Go get it. Good girlie. And then when I want to finish the session, I'm just going to get some treats. I'm just going to scatter feed, and then we can end the session. And she's had fun. She's retrieved a lot of items. And if your dog, depending on what it is that your dog likes, obviously work close to it. So if it's, you know, tissues they like grabbing, then maybe try it with a handkerchief with maybe a ball tied inside it, and then gradually get closer to the item. Rebel, what I trained him to do with tissues is take them to the kitchen bin, and then we drop them in the kitchen bin. So think about having a better solution rather than just always trying to stop and prevent, because that's stifling and it's no fun for your dog. And if you're the one that always ends that, you know, you can always see why you create a dog that runs off, finds something really interesting and plays keep away, because, well, you're going to take it off them. So make it a game, make it interesting, and then you get the drops naturally because they're going to bring it to you. So hope that makes sense. Post some comments if you want to know anything. Check out the rapid recall, the rock solid retrieve course, which goes through the process to get to this stage, and then just have a go and make it fun. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Right, jump.